Hello and welcome to Revsportz. I'm Shourjyani, Chatterjee, and joining me today is Trisha, Ghosal and Snehasis, Mukherjee, and we are back for another video. We are sitting here at the House of Tales Motor Cafe, and let me tell you, the ambience is beautiful. You've seen it in the other videos as well. We've just finished a cup of coffee, and it was so good that we ordered another cup of coffee. Trisha, definitely, Trisha will now.
I'm a coffee addict, yeah.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you about your coffee order, but now today the main topic of the video is we're going to talk about three teams today. We're talking about Sri Lanka, Pakistan, and then Bangladesh. Now we've already previewed the Indian team, but first things first, we've seen recently Sri Lanka and Pakistan, they played an ODI series and a T20I series, and since we're talking about the Asia Cup, let us just focus on the T20I series. I mean, Sri Lanka definitely won the series against Pakistan, and they're also the defending champions of the Asia Cup. But Snehasis, I'll go to you first. Chamari Athapaththu. You were there at the presser also, if I'm not wrong, where she'd spoken about how she's a failure after
During
the team.
the World Cup.
Yeah, during the World Cup. So somewhere or the other, do you feel that the Sri Lankan team is somewhere or the other overly dependent on Chamari Athapaththu, or do you feel that the new players, the new, the upcoming generations, they are also somewhere or the other contributing now?
I think that pressure has acted something
As a catalyst.
as a catalyst for the players.
My inside my mouth. I have this assumption that your voice is not clear.
No.
Buland
But I think yes, I think this is something that me and Trisha has been discussing since that Sri Lanka Pakistan series. That if you go by the numbers, if you go by the performance, I think certainly you can see other players have started to step up. I think this might be the good sign that they have been looking for the last 1 year maybe, because if you see since that the Asia Cup championship that you mentioned, they won in 2024. Since that again we were seeing that other players are failing, and again performance of Sri Lanka team was kind of depending on only Chamari Athapaththu. Why Chamari Athapaththu said that in that pressure? Because she thought that maybe the quality of cricketer she is, the quality of contribution that she has already made to the cricket, to Sri Lankan cricket, somewhere if you see the numbers of semi-final or number of finals they have played, or maybe when it comes to winning major trophies, they have not done that. So that is why maybe that's
How can one person do that in a team?
yes, obviously. I think you have to give enough credit to someone like Chamari Athapaththu to say that thing. It's not easy.
No. It's not fair. She's being. I'm sorry, but
absolutely.
she has set a wrong precedent. If you ask
Yes,
me,
yes.
by saying that, I know this video is not about that press conference,
Yes.
But no, as a captain, aren't you supposed to go out there and take responsibility for your whole team?
but she has taken more than enough responsibility.
and that is why
But I think
she has
what
came
she
up.
said is, she said she's a failure because the entire team could not perform. That cannot be on her. And over again, she has been the only one. Okay, so for example, if I tell you, you have not watched a match, okay? And I come and tell you that Sri Lanka has defeated India. What are you expecting? Who must have scored?
Chamari Athapaththu.
Exactly. That's why she cannot be a failure.
Yes.
Yes, maybe as a team they did not click. Maybe the domestic process needs to be worked on. And this is what I'm trying to say, that when a Chamari Athapaththu comes out and says, you know what, I am a failure, I just think she's not talking about the actual problems. What is the line? If you look at the Sri Lankan team, you will still see players who are way experienced. The transition is very few, and then there are extremely young players. So there's a mixture which has happened very recently. Before that, it was all the same players playing. Over the years, there were no results being produced. When I say results, I'm saying winning matches here and there is fine, but winning
Big, significant
tournaments,
results.
yeah, that wasn't happening. And somewhere, I think there needs to be more, more spoken about. If you look at the franchisee tournaments, how many Sri Lankan players are chosen? So when you're talking about Chamari Athapaththu being the failure, the point is there's a lot more than Chamari Athapaththu that failed for Sri Lanka not to have had a big impact in major ICC tournaments, which is where I feel that Athapaththu has done a bit of a disservice to her own self by saying that. I'm not saying that people won't recognize her legacy or her contribution, but I just think when you think like that, I think probably I understand why Athapaththu somewhere is also not consistent, because of the pressure she puts on herself. Think of this. what she says in public, I'm sure she believes in private as well.
And something that is going on and on in her head.
So every time she's coming out, she already knows she's one of the what? She's the most important wicket in the Sri Lankan batting lineup. And then to think, if I fail, the team fails, so I become a failure. My complete success depends on the team's success. Can you imagine the kind of pressure that she's putting herself into, that zone? That is a trap that I would never want. A player like Chamari Athapaththu should have all the freedom in the world.
True, and the batting order of Sri Lanka has been a concern because we've seen that the middle order especially, they've not performed very well recently. But Snehasis, which brings me to my next question. We do have a lot of positives to talk about. Positives being the spin department of Sri Lanka. That is definitely a positive. Your thoughts?
Yes, and especially when the tournament is going to be played in Dubai. In Dubai conditions, I think all the Asian teams, if you say India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and obviously Bangladesh. Yes, yes. So I think all these teams, when it comes to spinning department, I think they will cherish that tournament is going to be played in Dubai. Dubai conditions definitely will help them, and that is where I think Sri Lanka spinners will look to excel that conditions. But yes, I think we all are looking forward how the spinners will do in Dubai.
True, and now that we're talking about spinners, we also have to keep in mind that Bangladesh, they have an excellent set of spinners. The spinners go out there and they've been consistent. We do have the pacers out there, and we will definitely talk. But we are now shifting our focus to Bangladesh. First things first, Trisha, I will definitely ask you about the spin attack because that is how I started my question. But then the captain, Nigar Sultana Joty, how important is she in the whole team?
Yeah, I think we spoke about Nigar Sultana Joty in the previous live of
Maybe,
the 100.
yes.
I have no idea why we're speaking about her in the 100 live, but that's how our lives work. It was a fun experience. For the first time, I think I was there in Nigar Sultana Joty's press conference, and I had asked her, as you said, she has been extremely important with the bat while keeping, and the way she has led the team. She's absolutely like a mentor, a coach, everything in there. And when I say coach, I'm not saying technically per se, but talking to the players continuously.
And being a Bengali, we can understand.
Yeah, being Bengalis, we can completely understand what she's saying. And in fact, that was the fun that I asked her in Bengali. Like in the press conference, I actually asked her a question in Bengali, and I was like, you keep saying ki dara, bosho, bolta dhoro, bolta choro, ekhane aste churo. So basically sit down, collect the ball carefully, stay low, throw the ball straight to me. So these things that you keep saying, how much does that affect your thought process also? Because as a captain, you have to think 2 overs ahead. You're not in the present. You have to be in the present, but you have to calculate the future. So how much pressure is it? What? And she explained it beautifully. She said, I'm the senior there. I'm like an elder sister, and they are looking up to me all the time. I have a very young team. I have to explain things to them, and I enjoy the job. Yes, it's a bit of a pressure, but I enjoy the pressure. And I think it was lovely to see that kind of confidence. And you've seen that the way the Bangladesh team has grown, leaps and bounds. And when you speak about Bangladesh pacers, I think Bangladesh has only one pacer, Marufa Akhtar. What a talent! What a pace! But this time around, what I loved about Marufa, something that Satira had mentioned in our interview, that she had said, if you remember, in the qualifiers, when I saw Marufa, my first reaction was Marufa has become so much fitter. It was my reaction. Of course, the moment she became leaner, she gained muscle. Of course, the power increases, the pace increases. And I think in Dubai it will be a very, very interesting. But Bangladesh also has this not new batter, but a batter who's doing really well is Shourjyani Akhtar.
Yes, Shourjyani Akhtar, and I think the middle order is doing well now.
Yeah, who's the finisher other than Ritumuni who's doing well?
I think Subhana Mustari was there. Yeah, Subhana Mustari is there, and she can do well. I think now she is getting those chances at number 3 as well. So when you are playing at that number, what we discuss about Jemima regularly when it comes to Team India. That if you are getting chance at number 3, you have to make most of it. And for quality of Shobhana Mustari, I think she has that quality. And
But in
this
the
Asia
World Cup, I thought it was
Yes,
disappointing
I
the
think
way
it
she
was very
performed.
underwhelming.
And it was good to see, again, in the press conference, I think a press conference can reveal a lot about players. And the way, Shobhana actually, somebody asked her the question that, you haven't been doing well. She said, yes, I'm not doing what the team is expecting me to do. And this is the same thing that even Nigar Sultana said, that with captaincy and all, I think I'm doing well. But with the bat, I'm not doing what my team needs me to do. And I've been extremely disappointed in my own self. And it was such a so beautifully put forward. Same goes for Shobhana Mustari, because I thought if Shobhana Mustari had a little, had a better World Cup, they could have defeated South Africa. They could have defeated us also. Unfortunately. But, there's one aspect that I want to speak about that has changed. And since you have been asking us questions and having all the fun, so this question is for you. What message does it give when a Bangladesh team retires someone out to bring in a finisher? Do you think that shows how much women's cricket has grown?
Definitely, and also portrays a change in mindset, because when you know that you have to go out there and score those runs, when you know that you have to go out there and have a power hitter who can finish and add those extra 20 or 25 runs, I think that speaks a lot about your mindset, because a lot of times we assume that these nations, they somewhere or the other have not developed.
They're here to participate.
Exactly.
And then they do these moves, and then they're here to win now.
Absolutely. So that it proves the fact that they are more competitive now, and the fact that they are focusing on their mindset, and I think that is very important, because we've been talking about pressers, we've been talking about players, are going out there and expressing their views on the press conference. So it just shows how much women's cricket is growing. Snehasis, okay, now I was the host,
Yes.
I forgot. I was just looking at you and waiting for you to ask the next question. But Snehasis, we've been talking about the positives also. But Marufa Akhtar, definitely a very big positive for Bangladesh. But then what I want to ask you is that, do you feel that somewhere or the other it is backfiring for them? Because apart from Marufa Akhtar, do you think that there is any other bowler who can go out there and take the responsibility?
I think still, I know Marufa is doing so well, but their spinners are the key, no doubt about that. But I think more than batting and bowling, I think their fielding needs to improve. I think if you see in both the World Cup, be it ODI World Cup and T20 World Cups, their fielding has not looked that good. Inconsistent drop catches here and there, and I think that has cost it. I think me and Trisha closely, I think still remember, those games in ODI World Cup. I think few catches here and there, if they would have get those, they could have qualified for the semi-final. You never know. Things could have
Come
been
to think of it, and just again, I don't hate anyone, but the truth is that Shafali catch, you did not expect Nigar Sultana Joty to drop it.
Yes, absolutely.
Joty of all people.
Things could have been different for India.
But thankfully, she did not say ki upsar for ki kya fayda. She did accept that it was a very bad catch to drop. But you don't expect them to drop such catches, because now, if you have that mindset that we want to win, or we want to be more competitive, we don't want to be the minnows anymore, then you have to improve your fielding,
especially the
leaps
basic
and bounds.
things.
Yeah, I mean, catches are absolutely basic. That wasn't a difficult catch.
Yes, especially with the gloves.
And especially with Nigar Sultana Joty, for God's sakes. I mean, again, it was against India.
We were happy that time.
Especially against Shafali Verma, because, I'm a Shafali fan. There's no doubt about that. The reason I support Shafali, Jemmy.
Okay, but no, Trisha, now that
When is WPL started?
Now it's only WAPL.
Oh, yes. Before that it was the 100. Oh my god, the kind of messages that we were getting regarding these things. Oh my god.
Yeah, I think some of the best messages were when I was in Glasgow. They're like, some of the best messages I got when I was in Glasgow. Why aren't you coming live?
And you were having coffee.
Yeah, and
So you posted a picture, right?
yeah, That message had that why aren't you coming live when you have time? Because the messaging was I was busy, so I couldn't come live. So somebody actually texted me, but you're having coffee, why can't you come live? I'm like, sure. Sorry, let me breathe, please.
No, but what you should have done is you should have, sat in a cafe and then have a coffee, like you're doing right now.
Yeah, this is my iced hazelnut coffee latte.
And we are here at the House of Tales Motor Cafe, and this is Trisha's second cup of coffee, and she just loves it over here.
5. Yeah, it's 5 per day.
Okay. Too much of caffeine, but moving on, we were talking about fielding. Trisha, I'll let you have your coffee and I'll go to Snehasis.
No, it's chocolate cover, so I was just checking that.
Okay. But Snehasis, we've been talking about fielding a lot. Pakistan, I mean, their fielding, Snehasis, your thoughts?
Sorry, but in all three departments, it's very inconsistent and very unpredictable. Yes, I know you Travis time a little bit covered there, but it is true. What is true? In all three departments, see, I think before the T20 World Cup,
how is it very clear that Shourjyani among us is the one who has started the journalism and shows. Yeah, exactly. Shows, because she'll be like, where can they improve?
They're
bad,
but they can improve.
And Snehasis and I are like, this is horrible. This is just horrible.
Sometimes even I get scared because, I ask you questions and then you just straight up answer and I'm like, okay, fine. But, okay.
No, I think with Pakistan, before the T20 World Cup, me and Trisha discussed that their batting looking good and they can do well. But again, they were back to their form in the World Cup. So it was shocking to see. And surprisingly, if you see, after the T20 World Cup, they again started batting well. If you see the scores that they managed in the Sri Lanka series, they managed to put up good scores on the board. But
I think Munibali was the key.
Yes, see, in the T20,
He was not telling them that it's ICC tournament.
Yes, absolutely. But again, I think more than the batting, I think their bowling not looking that good.
Yeah.
Their spinners are not looking that much threatening when it comes to wicket taking ability, especially in the middle overs. And again, just like all the other Asian teams, the fielding is horrible. So I think there are so much things that they need to improve.
Okay, now Snehasis did touch upon all the three departments, but Trisha, has the dead bowling been a concern for Pakistan? Or would you say that the overall bowling has been a concern?
Yeah, I think middle overs is the only place where they're absolutely comfortable. Other than that, it has been a bit of a concern. Death bowling, I feel that they try to do something which is unnecessary. Fatima has some very good Yorkers. They should stick to their basic, which is something they don't do. And even in the World Cup, we have seen this, that it is, take the India match, for example. They had us in tight grasp.
The last 2 overs.
It was all. Actually, Pakistan looks like a very, very different bowling attack the moment the ball is in their pacers' hands. And that cannot be the case because, okay, you will have at least 6 to 7 overs of the pacers. If you have 6 to 7 overs of the pacers, they have to at least, like, what is the role of the pacers? I think that definition is very important. For teams like, and I'll just mix it up a little, for teams like Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, even for India, I don't think pacers are your main wicket takers. Yes, Renuka at one point, sure. But if you now look at the Indian attack also, you're not expecting a Arundhati Reddy or a Renuka to give you wickets right up front. Kranti, maybe. But then again, the consistency is a question. And I do think that the kind of pitches nowadays you will see is very different. Even England pitches have slowed down. So you have to concentrate on spinners while the pacers are rallying around, the spinners, which is where the pacers need to be economical so that the batters are pushed to take chances against, against the spinners. And much like Shourjyani had completely zoned out 2 minutes ago.
Zoned out. You were telling me and I was just imagining.
Next question.
Yeah, next question. See, I'm just starting out my career. I'm very nervous.
But yeah, on a more serious note, I think, as I said, the spinners have to be the wicket takers, and you have to push the batters to attack the spinners. That is where the fun will be.
Very true. Last question to you, Snehasis. We've been
Pakka last question. Every time we finish a video, she will say, I actually wanted to ask you one more question. And I'm like, nobody should. But I was not sure I should ask. What will you reply? I said, you leave the reply to me.
But yeah, Ashish, we've been talking about Pakistan and overall, the bowling attack. Trisha did give us a whole summary. But my question to you is very specific. Fatima Sana, how important is her contribution in the team, and especially, considering the fact that she played the 100? Definitely, Birmingham Phoenix, they did not make it to the semi-finals or the finals. I predicted that they would go, but they did not, which was very unfortunate. Trent Rockets won. That's a positive. But your thoughts on Fatima Sana?
See, I think she is already an inspiration for Pakistan women's cricket. I think the way she has been representing Pakistan in all over the world. Now the 100, and now in the Canada also, I think she's playing for a franchise team. Super 60 something tournament. So I think it's so good for Pakistan women's cricket. I think seeing her, the way she has been playing, I think in going forward, I think more Pakistan girls will show more interest when it comes to women's cricket. And I think somewhere in this team also other players have started to inspire. I think the next target will be from women's cricket. You need to see if there are, from Pakistan women's cricket team, that there are so many cricketers that are getting chances or not going forward in different types of global tournaments, because that definitely will help them in terms of getting that experience. For someone like Fatima to have that experience, of playing in England in different times, or playing in Canada or whatever, even in I will say in CPL as well, if she's getting chance. So I think that will definitely help her. But when it comes to as a unit, you need other players to step in different countries as well. So let's see that happens or not. But for Fatima, I think she has been an inspiration leader, and again in this tournament she will play a key role. But again, I think what Birmingham Phoenix didn't use that much, her batting. I think as a batter also she will play a key role in this team, and what she has been doing for Pakistan.
Trisha, I wanted to ask you another question before we close the show. We've been talking about the 100 also, and it just popped up right now, the question. I was thinking about it. Why can't we see more players from Pakistan, India? I mean, Sri Lanka, we did speak about a few minutes ago that we don't have more players from Sri Lanka. We don't have any player from Sri Lanka in the 100. But why can't we see more players from India and Pakistan?
India had 4 players.
Yes.
But I mean, what I'm trying to say is, why not more?
I think some of them, if I'm not wrong, Shafali withdrew.
Moved their names.
Much like I think Smriti had withdrew from WBBL because of workload management. With Smriti back then there was But that's what I think. For Indian players, it is a lot about workload management. But as far as Pakistan or Sri Lanka is
Options
concerned,
are very limited.
I mean, if you think of the Pakistan team and then think of the Australian and English talent available, for overseas slots are limited. Genuinely speaking, other than Fatima Sana, I don't see anyone making it the cut.
Even in Sri Lanka, only Chamari Athapaththu.
Again, Sri Lanka only Chamari Athapaththu. If you talk about Bangladesh, Marufa Akhtar in the future, that's it. Not even Nigar Sultana Joty, because she has to be a far better batter. There are so many good batter wicket keepers that I don't think there is a place for Nigar Sultana Joty as well. Overall, I think they have to step in and perform much better for their country, for them to impress the franchises enough.
Okay, so on that note, we are closing the show. Just like the House of Tales Motor Cafe brings excellent food and excellent coffee, we at Revsportz also, we try our best to provide you with excellent analysis of the game. So on that note, we don't give you excellent coffee. So on that note, we are closing today's show. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back with another video very soon, and we'll keep the Asia Cup coverage on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For India's best multi-sports coverage, your platform is one. And that's Revsportz. So like, share, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. I think by now you know that we will be everywhere in different parts of the world and bring you on-ground reportage. As I said, your best multi-sports coverage on Revsportz, your favorite destination.